Hey, everybody, it's your old pal Eric Zane for one of my new favorite sponsors, ExpressVPN. Look, going online without ExpressVPN, listen to this illustration. It's like leaving your laptop unattended at the coffee shop when you run to the bathroom. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I might actually do that. Anyway, most of the time you're probably fine, but what if one day you come out of the bathroom and the laptop is gone? You're like, oh, no. Anyway, the question might be easy. What is ExpressVPN all about? Look, every time you connect to an unencrypted network, cafes, hotels, airports, etc., your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access and steal your personal data, passwords, bank logins, you name it. And it doesn't take much technical knowledge to hack someone. Don't believe me? Look it up. Just some cheap hardware is needed. A smart 12-year-old could do it. My God. Your data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 a person selling personal info on the dark web. ExpressVPN stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. Tunnels are good. Now, it's true. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. And I didn't just pull that out of my you-know-what. Easy to use. Fire up the app and click one button to get protected. Every time I take my show on the road, I depend on ExpressVPN. I don't want my stuff exposed to some scumbag. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/Zane. That's expressvpn.com/Zane. And you get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Zane. Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into 2 parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports Studio. Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Check them out when it comes to, fun. They've got so much going on there. They want you to check them out. And maybe you can pick out an ATV, a UTV, a dirt bike, go-karts, and more. They even have trailers, mopeds, e-bikes, roadsters, everything except like cars. But they're kind of like cars. The go-karts look fantastic, I'm telling you. There isn't a thing that they have that's not fun, except for maybe the lawnmower. Now, the zero-turn radius lawnmower would probably be a lot of fun, too. There you go. Check them out online, impactpowersportsmi.com. They also are Michigan's newest Yamaha golf cart dealer. Thank you so much for being here. Let's focus on the thing that everybody was tipping me off about all weekend long. The French pole vaulter Anthony Emirati. He got his running start. He planted the pole. He lifted himself off of the ground. The pole was throwing him up. He went over, got the legs over the bar, and then his massive dong got caught on the pole. And it knocked, or the bar, I should say. You're trying to get over the bar. There's a lot of pole and bar going on here. He's holding a pole. He plants it. He goes up, and then the bar that he's trying to clear, he ends up hitting his big fat dick with the bar. My God. We got to take a closer look at this because I on the video, sometimes you hear, the video doesn't do it justice. The video ridiculously does it justice. It does the most justice. Okay, now watch. Oh, it hit it, and then it kind of it made it all floppy. Sorry about the weird resolution of the video. It's kind of wonky, I admit. But you can still see that thing.
What happened here, Coach Judy? All the way down.
Okay, those announcers had to have been like, God, we got to talk about this in detail. Oh, no, there is no mistaking that. If he were like a chick, he might have had a chance at that height if he was up there. This is the second Olympian whose penis has been front and center. The first one was that swimmer or that diver that had this, it was just packed into that Speedo, that huge wad of dong. And now this one, what a gigantic monstrosity that was. So that screwed his chances. Because of his giant dong, it's like good news, bad news. Good news, you got a giant dong. Bad news, your giant dong just caused you to miss a medal. He would have medaled if not for his dick. He can actually say to people, I would have won an Olympic medal if I didn't have such a gigantic Johnson. God damn. If we were on the radio, we could do one of those phone topics. You could say, I would have blank if not for my gigantic dick. Holy crap. So that's it for the guy. He's now out. Now, I've heard about in the Olympic Village, we've talked about this before, how the athletes, there's a lot of sex going on. This is the second guy that if he's single, I mean, horny people are going to bang on this guy's door and say, look, we need to put that, something good has to come out of this. You just lost a medal. I want to conquer this dog of yours. Maureen says he needs to tape that monster down. Not the first time I heard that suggested. But if you taped it down so you were tucking like that guy in Silence of the Lambs, if you did that, I think that would affect your ability to run. You could possibly even hurt yourself. Crest Vax says, not sure if it's true, but I heard he did this as a stunt to get OnlyFans subscribers. All right. So that is kind of been going around. People just captivated by this guy's massive Johnson. One of many Olympic stories that have been bubbling under. You had the one dude from the United States is now the fastest guy in the world. I don't know his name, doesn't matter. He ran really fast. He won the 100 meters, and the thing is, though, he is still miles away from Usain Bolt's record, 2.5 tenths of a second, which is in the 100 in eternity. That guy was so damn fast. But an American is now the fastest guy in the world. I reached out to Rick before I started this show, and I said, Rick, buddy, you in? And hold on a second. I got to respond to this text. Rick has something going on today. He cannot make it. But Rick, hot on the heels of an amazing story last week. God dang, was that great. He's now worried that he told the story weird. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? He said, man, listening back to that story I was not a good interviewee. I should have let you interject and string it out a bit. I was too worried about there being so much to touch on. I said, nah, it was totally cool. Everybody loved it. Except for Amanda. Hey, I don't like this. I don't like stuff. I want to talk a little bit more about the Algerian boxer. Again, not transgender. Has an X and a Y chromosome. Failed a testosterone test previously, prior to the Olympics, to compete on another level of boxing. And but passed the Olympic one. I don't think the Algerian boxer, Imam, I forget the name. Imam Khalif, has done anything wrong. None at all. I want that to be perfectly clear. Imam Khalif has done nothing wrong. By the way, I got the pronunciation of that online, and that actually is correct. If you want to pronounce it like you're an American, you'd say Imam Khalif. But who wants to do that? She fought again over the weekend and won. Khalif. And is guaranteed a medal and may win gold. Khalif was born with an X and a Y and produces testosterone like a dude. Khalif has tried to suppress that in order to compete as a female. Part of the problem, I think, with Khalif is Khalif looks like a dude. I think that is the big thing. The reason why the world is against Imam Khalif is because Imam Khalif looks like a dude. That's why. If she looked like a chick, I mean, because like beauty queen Jackie Green is like the epitome of beauty, of female beauty. There are a handful of people on the planet, in my opinion, who are prettier than Jackie Green. So, everybody's like, oh, well, whatever. But Khalif has the same thing as Jackie. And so now everybody is hating on Khalif. Do I think that she should be competing? I've talked about this before, and I haven't really changed my opinion on it. It's not her fault that she has an abundance of testosterone. But that still does not make it more fair. It doesn't do anything. I was talking with Madison about this. She goes, Khalif has lost in the past to other boxers. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I get it. But it's just too murky. I know it sounds unfair, but to me, it's unfair on both levels. It's unfair for all the women that are competing against this woman. And I'm sorry, it's just an unfair advantage. It shouldn't be allowed. Now, I know this sounds weird, but if Khalif looked like a chick, this would not have come up ever. This would have, I'm telling you, the way our culture is, the reason why Imam Khalif is being hated upon is because she looks like Michael Imperioli on crack. That's the big takeaway here. Is this that big of a deal? Let's be honest here. As soon as the Olympics are over, we're not going to give a shit about amateur boxing or any of this for the next 4 years. Shaq says it's like Corey says that's like banning Shaq for being too tall or Michael Phelps for having webbed feet. So we're getting some differences of opinion here. This is definitely a gray area. We're getting folks that are like, no, letterbox. And then like me saying, no, this isn't appropriate. Anyway, I'm anxious to see the next fight. I was hoping to see the one that I was hoping she lost. I want her to lose. I actually want her to lose because I just don't think it's right. If she loses, it'll be a fair and square loss, right? Corey says the XY thing hasn't even been completely proven yet either. Well, something's definitely going on there. Chris from Buffalo throws out, if she has a box, let her box. Well, I think she does. Okay? I think she actually does. I wish that she would maybe just say, all right, here's the specifics about me. I think she was asked that and did not want to discuss it. Algerian boxer Emain Khalef declined to answer a question about testing as the fighter decreed the bullying over controversy about a disqualification from a past tournament. The Associated Press reported that they asked Khalef whether she had undergone tests other than doping tests. Khalef declined to answer, reportedly saying she didn't want to talk about it. The failed gender test while at the 2023 International Boxing Association Women's World Championships have been the source of controversy with Khalef and Taiwan's Lin Yuting. Again, she failed in the 2023 International Boxing Association's Women's World Championships, but passed the Olympic test. I don't know why. She says, I send a message to all the people of the world to uphold the Olympic principles and the Olympic Charter, to refrain from bullying all athletes, because this has effects, massive effects. It can destroy people. It can kill people's thoughts, spirit, and mind. It can divide people. And because of that, I ask them to refrain from bullying. She's guaranteed a bronze. The IOC has defended Khalef at every turn. The IOC slammed the gender test the IBA apparently used to determine if the Algerian Olympian had XY chromosomes. So just like Corey said, that isn't even known yet. Well, I think that they should, though. I think that should be known. Because if they test and find out, hey, everything's copacetic, well, then fuck it. Then she just looks like a dude, but she's a chick. Let her fight, and that's the end of it. However, there's confidentiality issues, medical issues, and probably lawsuits. Maybe if we got Khalef to pork the pole vaulter. Now that, I think a lot of people would love to see. Let's see. There was a thing about the 10,000 meters. Maureen had written. A dude from Grand Blanc won bronze in the 10,000 meters. That's awesome. That's good. Amy says, I say let her box. She was born a woman. If she's juicing, they will find out. No, that's not about juicing. It's her body naturally produces hormones, it's suspected, like that of a man. So outwardly a woman, except for the face where she looks like Michael Imperioli. And has a vagina, but the thought is XY chromosomes, dudeish, and testosterone. Testosterone. Corey says she was born as a biological female. Outwardly. Like if you took one look at her, oh my God, your baby's so beautiful. She looks like a dude, but it's a chick. Oh, thanks. Here you go. Nurse the baby. Jeremy says, that's what I was about to say. The source for that info is an organization that's so corrupt that the IOC banned them. If the IOC is banning you for corruption. Aram says, doesn't make sense. What level exactly is allowed for a woman then? Let her box. I think we need to have pay-per-view, a full-on test, HIPAA laws be damned, and find out for once and for all what's going on. That's what's fair. They are going to let her box, though, so you guys win. I feel like I'm the minority here. I feel like I am absolutely wrong, and you guys are acting like you're absolutely right. I feel like I'm outnumbered, and you guys have a stronger opinion about this than I do. Corey says she was born with a physical advantage, no different than other gifted athletes. Maize and Blues says the world just needs to see what's in the garage. Yeah. What if we find out that, like the pole vaulter, she's got a massive crank? Then what? I don't know. I don't think we're done here on this one. You guys are kind of annoying the hell out of me on this. Let's change gears completely. I have talked with you extensively for the past 2 years about Ottawa Impact. These far-right religious zealots that took over the county that I live in and systematically used revenge politics to try to take things over. Led by a crusade put on by my pal Joe Spaulding, a grassroots effort was made, and one of the Ottawa Impact Republicans was recalled. That was in May. Now we are on the cusp of the primary election tomorrow, where a number of normal Republicans that are not retarded religious zealots are going to try to take out the candidates for various spots of county government. There's a little bit of confusion as to who to vote for and who's being represented by Ottawa Impact, those shitheads. So I wanted to bring in Joe Spaulding to talk about that exact thing. He joins us now. I think. In theory. That's embarrassing. He's so busy. If it does it again, I'll be pissed off. It's going to do it again.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
All right, I told my man I'd call at 10:30. Hey, friends, it's Joe Pal Easy with my latest and greatest marketing partner, Mint Mobile. I know a lot of you have been through the ringer when it comes to costs with big wireless. As you know, what you see is never what you get. You ever have that happen where you get in there and you're like, okay, they're like, you're going to get this, this, and this, and this, and then you pay us this. And you go, oh, yeah. And then, like, you get the bill and you're like, what the hell just happened? It's like bait and switch. And then you call in and you realize that you're screwed. So you're like, oh, my God, I might as well just keep overpaying for this. Never again. Enter Mint Mobile. You never have to worry about the gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month, when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. I've done this. You should too. Say bye-bye to the overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to the rescue with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. My God! To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Zane. mintmobile.com/Zane. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month and give the other guys the big heave-ho. mintmobile.com/Zane. All right, fine print time. $45 upfront payment required. That's equivalent to the $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. If I don't get him here, I'm going to move on. We'll come back to it. By the way, I'll be at Bosco's Pub
Your
today.
call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Fucking shit. Come see me at Bosco's tonight. At least I think I'm going to be there. One more Olympic story to talk about. Remember the triathlon that went down? Where 2 days before the triathlon was set to start, the word came out that there was 10 times the E. coli level in the river where they are to swim in France. Then a handful of hours later, they said, oh, yeah, hey, it's clean now. Now, come on. The athletes are like, yeah, whatever. You just want to throw us in there. Okay. It's ridiculous. I think the point that was made about, I don't understand why because they knew months leading up to this that the venue was tainted water. Why not just have it originate at a different starting point, a different body of water? That makes perfect sense. Why would you do this? So with all that feces in there, the one Olympian said that she could actually feel the shit bouncing off her head. Like there was full lunker turds just boom, boom, bouncing off her fucking head. Well, now they have a relay. They're not done with the triathlon. They have like some mixed relay triathlon race that was supposed to happen today. And now teams have been dropping out. Belgium withdrew. Switzerland has had to mix up its roster after athletes from both teams got sick following the initial triathlon that they competed in last week. So they got in that water, they swam around, they were exposed to basically just swimming in a giant fucking toilet, and they got sick. Belgium announced it was dropping out of the race after Claire Michel fell ill. The statement did not specify the illness, which was reported days after she swam in the river during the women's triathlon on Wednesday. That is so gross. Michelle, a member of the relay, is unfortunately ill, must withdraw from the competition. The statement also pointed towards what appeared to be aimed at organizers. The Olympic and Belgian triathlon teams hope that lessons will be learned for future triathlon competitions. Yeah, like don't have them in shit. Another guy from the Swiss team had to be replaced, also ill. Gastrointestinal infection. And they always say, it's not clear whether or not it was brought on by the river. Well, of course it was brought on by the river. What happens if you ingest people's shit? Well, you could get a gastrointestinal infection. What does this guy have? A gastrointestinal infection. What brought it on? I don't know. No clue. Come on. The Paris 2024 organizers of the game said in a statement that the water quality in the Seine was at a very good level on the morning. Come on, you're lying. Paris 2024 wishes to remind everyone that the health and well-being, I don't even know why they're saying this. They're just trying to cover their ass. Water samples taken in the Seine on the morning of the individual triathlon event showed the quality to be at a level considered very good. They will continue with the cleanup or with the race and continue to look at it. And they said, hey, we spent $1.5 billion on this. Of course it's clean. Boy, I'm curious as to what the actual procedures were. What could you have done for if you have $1.5 billion that you're spending on cleaning up a river? I mean, that's so much money. I mean, outside of just dumping $1.5 billion worth of chemicals in it, what are you doing? Are you scooping out the bottom of it? Seems ridiculous to me. Tyler says the athletes could utilize the turds to their advantage by grabbing them and throwing them at other competitors behind them. Chris says, imagine working for 4 years to qualify for this and then having to drop out. Well, yeah, and that's kind of like what I said about the boxers. You got these female boxers work for 4 years, and then you get Imam Khalif showing up with a man face. What are you to think? All right. Amy asks if Joe Spaulding was 10:30 real time or big fraud time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing he just forgot.
Eric Zane, how are you?
Mr. Joe Spaulding, good day to you, my friend.
It is. It's a pretty wonderful day over here. And it's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow, I hear.
It is. It is. Are you a primary voter?
Yeah, I do vote in the primary. Being a political professional and having that be publicly accessible, you can get kind of raked over the coals by your peers if you don't make sure you show up.
Right. Can everyone vote in the primary?
Everyone who can vote in Michigan can vote in the primary. So that's any U.S. citizen who resides in Michigan.
So you don't have to be a registered Republican or a registered Democrat.
No, and in fact, in the state of Michigan, we don't even have actual party registration, which I think kind of makes us a little bit more free. We have full-on open primaries. You can vote where you think your vote is going to have the most impact.
Okay, excellent. Now, I wanted to talk to you because I wanted it to be that there was no confusion, because right now there's a handful of people running for county commission who I'm able to figure out are supported by Ottawa Impact. And the reason why that's why I'm having you here. I want everybody to be on the same page so that they know which candidates are Ottawa Impact. And it's my opinion, and they can have an opinion any way they want, that Ottawa Impact is not good. People supported by Ottawa Impact are crazy fuckers who we don't want involved in any type of elected position as an elected official. That's my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that way too. So I wanted to bring you in to kind of like, can you please let me know which of these people that are electable are backed by Ottawa Impact? Because I know Kendra Wenzel, that's Sow, and Rachel Atwood, that hot mom squad chick, and Joe Moss are the three that I recognize by the signs. Now, I know Joe Moss is Ottawa Impact, but those other two, not everybody people might not know that.
Yeah, and so that's true. And the only one caveat on all of this is that the people that stood up on the Republican primary side to run against Ottawa Impact with the exception of District 1, so in all the other 10 districts, there was only one person each that stood up to run, and there was no super real vetting process. So in a place like District 6 specifically, where Kendra Wenzel is running, her opponent is also a trash bag. And then if you look at the fundraising numbers, it reflects that. They both have like $2,000 each, which is it's a great sum of money if you're getting a paycheck after a week's work, but it's not a great amount for a candidate to have. So in that one district, like it really doesn't matter. They're both trash. But when you move across the board to the other places, you have Rachel Atwood, and then you have Joe Moss. There's no real Ottawa impact person running in the primary in District 4. It's just Jacob Bonema, who used to be Ottawa Impact, but says he's not now and fights with Joe Moss in public, so I kind of believe him. Over on towards Holland, you have some other folks running, and there's a little bit of just discrepancy in like District 1 because the guy that's running against Gretchen Cosby, who is, I call her Nurse Ratchet. Right. She is full on OI, and she is full on Nurse Ratchet. She's running against Jim Barry. Jim Barry is also Bill Heisinga's brother and campaign manager, so not every Democrat's going to jump up to vote for him. I do think that based on the numbers, that's one that the Democrats can win in November. So we can circle back to that. But Gretchen Cosby is definitely the OI candidate in that district. In District 2, Lucy Ebel, who we replaced with the recall, that's the Holland Township area. She is running again. She is the OI candidate. Her opponent is Jordan. I'm sorry, I can't remember his last name. I think it starts with a J. He's a very young dude who works.
Is he a Republican too?
Oh, yeah. He's a Republican. He works the state. He works in Lansing with some state rep that's a Republican. Guy from Ludington, Mark Van something or another.
So we should vote for that guy over Lucy because ultimately we want Christian Kleinjens to retain the seat in November, yes? Yeah. So in that, I mean, I'm not going to try to get too technical. I'm going to not get technical at all. Lucy has a lot less money than Jordan. Okay. So that's that would be the reason why you would not want to get involved there. But Lucy sucks a lot more than Jordan sucks. Okay, good. And Christian is awesome. All right, good. Okay, so I'm getting this down. Right now I'm looking at it. I would Bonema, yes. Jim Barry, yes. Jordan J, guy with money, yes. Moss and Rachel are unopposed. Is that what you said? No. So I think that Rachel, I cannot remember the name of the person right now. I will get back to that because it'll hit me when I'm going through these other ones. Moss is running against Hudsonville Mayor Mark Northrup. That's right. And Northrup is awesome. I like this guy. He is fun to listen to. He spends 90% of his time talking creative ways about how Joe Moss sucks. Yeah, and I remember that when he announced his candidacy, now that you mention it, I can't believe I didn't remember that. A Republican trying to take Moss out of what district is that again, too? That's District 5. That's like Hudsonville and Jamestown. Okay. All right, so everybody's got to vote for Mark Northrup. We would appreciate that. And who's running against Rachel Atwood? That's the one you didn't know. It's either Josh Brugger. I think it's Josh Brugger. All right. Well, but like Josh Brugger is one of the anti-OI Republicans. I'm sorry. I know who it is. It is John Teeples is the guy that's running. That's right. Yep. And then you go up north and you have District 10 or District 9 rather, where Roger Belknap, who is an absolute crazy person. I've got side note on Roger Belknap on how crazy this guy is. He, like Joe Moss and Sylvia Rhodey, have this PAC that they say is going to be like the legal women voters. It's really obnoxious. Like they're trying to encourage voter registration or whatever. But they sent out this loaded questionnaire to all the candidates. And Roger replied to the question about whether or not there are just two genders by saying that like something about there being a global transgenderism agenda that's geared at turning all the human beings into cyborgs. It is freaking out there. This guy is Looney Tunes. His opponent is Phil Kyers. I don't like Phil very much, but he is not fully round the bend whack job. Yeah,
So,
Rogers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still Kyers, like KUY something, ERS.
Okay, got it.
And that good. And then up in 10, Grand Haven City area. I think the guy's name is Josh Bruger. This is one of, like, his opponent is affiliated with OI. And this is another, like, wow, they ran this guy. Jason Cowart is the OI affiliated jackass. And this guy, like, he just got, whatever, like, he sold a few ounces of weed back in the day and he got pinched. Who gives a shit? But he also, when he was 17, was hooking up with someone below the age of consent and caught a statutory rape charge that also has recently been expunged. So, I mean, like, they're trying to talk about protecting kids and they're running a freaking, pedophile up there. So.
Interestingly enough, the guy who was the hardcore Republican voter who just got caught showing his dick and balls at the ice cream shop.
This asshole.
That fucker. And then, the Republicans are always like, oh, yeah, the drag queens are going to hurt our kids. Meanwhile, one of their own is showing his cock to children in public. What?
Yeah, no, that guy's a hardcore Republican voter. He started voting in every election in 2008, which, that doesn't mean he's a racist. But if, like, Barack Obama winning an election or running for president causes you to become hardcore politically opposed to the party you're running against, like, maybe you might be a little bit. But, like, yeah, that's weird that he's like that. And there's another guy, fire chief or sub chief, whatever, at Grafskop Fire Department. Full-on GOP supporter, loves Nancy DeBoer, who got popped. Same story. Started voting hardcore Republican, started voting in every election in 2008.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that he was because we covered that story last week about he got popped for all sorts of nastiness with kids.
Yeah, they looked on his hard drive and it wasn't good.
Oh.
But yeah, the flasher guy. He's been repeatedly, and the first time was in 2007, right before he started, like, being a hardcore Republican. It's just, like, the weirdest, like, I like that association. And then they went for years trying to say that Democrats are pedophiles and eating children in the bottom of a pizza restaurant. And you're like, yeah, that's awkward. Is that projection? And it kind of is.
Robert Linscott is the guy's name.
Ugh.
Who
creepy name.
Who actually was doing that. And that's like right around I know everybody involved at the facility where they worked. The guy that runs the place, Chandler, really nice guy. Poor dude. He has to put up with that shit. How fucked up are you that you just go and sit there and whip your dick out for people to see? What kind of sick fool is this guy? My God.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember back in high school when I was working the theater, like, there was always that urban rumor about the movie masturbator that would show up once in a while. It never actually happened there, but, like, like, it does happen and it's disgusting.
Okay, now, I've seen a couple other signs for Sarah, begins with an M, something Polish, Sarah Matawiski or something. I can't even say her name. Have you?
Yeah, so I am Polish and I cannot say that last name. She is running for prosecutor. I'm glad you brought that up. These are the most important races. And luckily, they're races that the candidates that we need to win have out fundraised their opponents 2-1 or 5-1. These are the countywide races and they're going to be settled in the primary because there's no Democrats running. And those are clerk, treasurer, prosecutor, which is what Sarah's running for, and then sheriff. And the two that I care about most are sheriff and prosecutor, because we just got done talking about GOP projection. Joe Moss specifically talks about lawfare as a concept all the time. And the reason he wants his puppets to be elected into prosecutor seat and into the sheriff's seat is so he can target his political opponents. It really is that simple. And so he's running John Anderson, who I don't know if I talked about. He's involved. He was almost definitely involved in this huge cover-up of a police pedophile out in California in Riverside, a guy named Kevin Duffy. That story is gross.
Wait a minute. Where can I get more on this story? Is it just a simple search?
Yeah, and so we're working really hard to get John Anderson's name directly connected to that. But if you search for Kevin Duffy Riverside, you'll see like the videos of his like victims. And what happened was the cop that was victimizing these kids, you know, running the after school program and everything, he got caught, and the department, first off, had him call one of his victims. And then second, they let him go. He contacted a bunch of his victims. He gave one of them a shotgun, which is weird. And then 10 days later, he killed himself. And then the department swept the entire investigation under the rug. That was back in 2009. In 2020, 2018, it came back up. And the department got sued. And it was pretty close to $1 million that they ended up having to pay out. We still don't know how many victims this guy had. And pretty much the entire you can pretty much assume that the entire administrative staff was on some level aware of what happened to Kevin Duffy, because cop doesn't kill himself and then people don't, you know?
Okay.
They talked about it. So the point about John Anderson is he's there through all of this. And then he starts getting promotions from Stan Sniff, the sheriff that was in charge that called the shot about releasing Duffy.
Wait a minute.
But you can search for,
Are you telling me Anderson worked in Riverside?
Yeah, he worked in Riverside, California. He's a recent transplant over. Either he's trying to California or Michigan.
Okay. And so he was in the halls of the sheriff's department when this all went down.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So does that mean that you guys, in trying to attach his name to this, you're running out ground balls, you're banging on doors, you're making phone calls? Are you doing a little bit of like home detective work? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, there's a little bit of investigative journalism or opposition research, depending on which side of the journalist line you fall on or activist line you fall on, that's happened on that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the super interesting things that we uncovered, because we know that he was in the department when Kevin Duffy was there. And the reason I know that is because there are court documents. And this is also like John Anderson should have known something was up with the department in this way, because John Anderson was victimized by a serial sex offender cop himself. He was in Las Vegas, and this cop who worked at the department was staying in the same hotel room as him because they were at a convention. And the guy kept trying to walk in on the shower on John Anderson.
Damn.
Well, this guy had done the same type of stuff playing a game he called Gay Chicken, putting his hand on the cop next to him's thigh and trying to move it up until the cop freaked out. He did this like 6 times in the past. And finally, after he did that to Anderson, the guy ends up getting canned.
Okay.
And so Anderson should have known that these cops were creeps in the department. He didn't. And he's running for sheriff against Eric DeBoer. That's our guy.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the signs for Anderson, and I knew I wasn't going to vote for him because he's got one of those flags on his sign of thin blue line, which is one of those things that started out as a good thing, and then it's been bastardized by fuckfaces like these people. Like Thin Blue Line was a great organization, but now it's a dog whistle for fucking hate. And so as soon as I saw that, I said, I bet you I'm not going to vote for that guy. Sure enough, there you go with John Anderson. No, you said we want Ken DeBoer. Is that what his name is?
Eric DeBoer.
Eric DeBoer.
And then we've got Sarah M. We'll call her Sarah M. because, like I said, I'm Polish. I can't say her last name. It's an awesome last name, though, I'm sure. But she's running for prosecutor against Greg Todd. Greg Todd is, I've talked to him one time, and he had a deer in headlights look the entire. The guy isn't just like a right-wing Ottawa Impact associated whack job. He's a total brain-dead idiot.
Okay.
So.
I'm short on time. I have one question for you. Did you, when you were, when this all started with Ottawa Impact, were you already busy doing what you do, or is this something that you picked up on doing what you're doing now only when Ottawa Impact struck?
So, I mean, these situations come up in different places, and it was really easy to see in the summer of 2022 that this was coming up. So, Doug Zylstra asked me if I wanted to run in District 2, and I didn't really want to, but I knew that could drain them of resources and that could become a project. And so it kind of snowballed into that.
I see.
As these things tend to do for me.
Joe Spaulding, you're a good man. As always, I thank you for the time. Happy voting. I don't think I'll see you at my precinct spot, but hopefully everybody goes to the polls and votes their heart and does the right thing and tries to and gets Ottawa Impact out of there, out of our county.
Exactly. I feel the same way. And Eric, I think that you are a great and hilarious human being. So
I appreciate you, Joe. Thank you, buddy.
Take care.
See ya. There you go. That's Joe Spaulding. Goddamn legend. Love that man. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the staff meeting. Oh, no. I'll be back in about half an hour with Act 2 on the video podcast. So there you go. Head over that way, and I'll talk to you in just a bit. Thank you so much, folks. Bye-bye. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.